Don't forget to like and subscribe, and please support the official release.
Kingdom Hearts is the best video game I've ever played in my life, period. One of the best tales, one of the best adventures that I've ever had the pleasure of going on, honestly. This game has changed my life, and it's probably one of the many reasons I still draw breath to this day. And I made another video talking about my experience first playing Kingdom Hearts. I went over the Roxas storyline. In this video, I'm just going to go over my experience with the game, how I felt about it, how it influenced the story I got now, and I'll probably just go over certain things that happened in the game. So more or less, like I said, after the Roxas storyline, it was Sora's and Kingdom Hearts 2, because that's where I started. I ain't started Kingdom Hearts 1, everybody. I do everything in reverse. I started at Kingdom Hearts 2, and then I played Void and Chain of Memories and all of that. But in Kingdom Hearts 2, it was just a really interesting game because you're set on this journey that kind of follows up the previous journey, and more or less there's a new enemy for you to fight. And without the context of the first game, it's still a good game. But when I went back and played the first game, it helped me understand the second one better. But more or less in 2, it was just the drive system was great. I like the fact that you was able to switch and alternate through your forms and all that. My favorite out of all of them is Master. I love that yellow-black form. I love the way he does the thunder attack because it's different. It's like he shifts from side to side in the air when he does it. That shit's kind of tough. And it's just the enemies were freaking amazing. I hated fighting those cars that you fight in freaking Timeless River. Oh my goodness. But after a while they get invulnerable. You have to hit them a certain way. But yeah, it was a really good story, more or less. So now that Sora is back together, he wants to find Riku, because Kyrie's safe at the island. He ain't gotta worry about her. So now he gotta go out there and find his man's Riku. And Riku hasn't been seen or nothing like that. And Donald and Goofy with him. They are concerned about the king. They're concerned about their King Mickey. That's who they are concerned about the most. And more or less, King Mickey ends up showing up. And he's when an organization come. They're a little bit confused. Sora starts remembering things that he ain't got no business remembering. Remembering another town with another group of friends, a sunset, ice cream. He remembers these things. And at the same time, it brings a tear to his eye. My boy Sora goes to the... I guess I'm just gonna review the game as I go along. Just talk about it, because I guess it's just another overview video. In these overview videos, I usually talk. These are unscripted. These are not unscripted thoughts. I usually talk until I feel as though the video is concluded. These videos could last roughly from 15 minutes to an hour. So, depending on how long I go, will depend on how long this video is. So, now, Sora is in the castle with Yen Sid. Yen Sid basically tells him about the journey he got to go on, and these creatures known as nobodies, these hollow husks that have no hearts, that only pretend to feel. Before the lore changed in Dream Drop Distance, they were simply beings with no emotions that pretended to have emotions because they acted on the memories of these emotions. And only the strong could become fully fledged human nobodies. If not, you become a Cronenberg monstrosity with zippers and stuff. Now Sora gets new drip from the fairy gods that allows him to transform. And the first place he has to go is Hollow Bastion. Hollow Bastion, he sees all his Final Fantasy friends there. He sees Squall. He actually teams up with Squall because there's the crisis going on. There's a lot of hotness there, and there's nobody's causing a ruckus, and we gotta go and deal with that. So we fight them, and then we meet my favorite evil organization, the Organization 13, a group of enigmatic nobodies. These edgelords want to see Sora fail. They want to confuse Sora. They want Sora to do their bidding. Sora doesn't even know the journey that he's going to be on when fighting these creatures. And they keep on confusing him. They show up, they teleport, they talk shit, and then they leave. And Sora's just sitting there baffled the entire time. So Sora goes on several journeys. He goes to Mulan's world and he fights Shan Yu. He goes into the Beast Castle and he stops Alden from manipulating the Beast and turning him into a Heartless. He goes to the Underworld and tries his best to find a way to get Hercules' strength back. He also meets Dimix, and Dimix calls him a name that's very familiar to him, but he can't understand why. It's rather uncanny. The name Roxas. It rang a bell to Sora, but he couldn't understand why. His journey continues, and eventually it led him back to Twilight Town. He went to other worlds and Atlantica, met other characters. But when he went to Twilight Town, he met Saïx, the Lunar Diviner. And that's when shit started to pick up, because now he has to go back to Hollow Bastion and fight an entire war. Yeah, Sora has to fight over 100 Heartless, 1,000 Heartless. Donald and Goofy each get 1,000 Heartless, while Xemnas, the tyrant, stands up there and watches the Keyblade build to fight his army. They clear out the army, and it gets to a point where Sora learns that all of the Heartless that he sorted up until this point was just a part of their plan. It was just an accumulation to gain Kingdom Hearts. For every heart that traveled into the sky went into one place. A divine circumference of energy, a mathematical equation of dominance that Xemnas, Xehanort, and all the other silver-haired ones wants. They want this power to reshape the universe, to make it a place to their liking, or make it more darkness, less light. However the case may be, they want this Kingdom Hearts for their own gains. And they will use anyone and everyone to do it. They've done it to Roxas. When we go back to 358 and a half days, Roxas was basically a baby. Because I consider nobodies that are just born babies. Like, they're babies, essentially. Especially if you're a new nobody. Because there's a difference between a nobody that is its own person and a nobody that's a new nobody. What I mean by that is Xigbar, Xaldin, Axel, Saïx, Vexen, Lexaeus, Zexion, Marluxia, Larxene, Luxord, Dimix. All of them were nobodies that were their own people. What I mean by that is when they reverted back to being human, there was no one to revert back to. They reverted back to themselves, which they just looked vaguely different. Xaldin's hair is just a little bit different. Axel don't got the teardrop eyes. I'm not sure if Saïx still has the scars. I gotta look at his design a little bit more. But the point is, these nobodies like Roxas and Xemnas though, those are new nobodies. Because the other that exists looks entirely different and acts entirely different. It's an entirely different person. If they were to fade away, you wouldn't get Xemnas, you get Xehanort. Or you wouldn't get Roxas, you get Sora. That's why they wanted to eliminate Roxas in the first place. Because they wanted Sora back. And now that Sora's back, Organization 13 is messing with him. They're messing with him. But he has to kill these Heartless. Because these Heartless are basically terrorizing the temples and cities, and they want nothing but darkness and death and to create more Heartless. So Sora, Donald, and Goofy, they have to keep on killing the Heartless, which ultimately goes into Xemnas' master plan. Xaldin and Sora have a climactic battle that everybody loses to on first try. If you ever played Kingdom Hearts 2 and you fought Xaldin, you probably lost to him. That nigga Xaldin is a problem. You found out that you could play with Mickey at that time. If you're trash, you probably found out when you was fighting Cerberus. Because like if you died during Cerberus, then Mickey came out during there as well. Same thing for the Hydra. There was a couple of times in the game where Mickey comes out. It's just that for me, I didn't know this until Xaldin, because I didn't die until I got up to Xaldin. Like I didn't know what Sora's death cry even sounded like, because I didn't die until I got up to Xaldin. Xaldin, he put hands, feet, and whirlwinds on me, and lances, and stabbed me, poked me up real good. And I got back at that whirlwind lancer. And then ultimately, we get back to the world that never was. Now we gotta fight the rest of them. Half of them done died in Castle Oblivion. I'm gonna get to Chain of Memories after this. That's my favorite game of all time, storyline-wise at the very least. Now we get to World That Never Was, and we gotta fight. You know what? Fuck that. I'm gonna do Chain of Memories right now. Nah, son, Chain of Memories. I'm gonna get back to the final battle, because for me, I feel like it's only proper that I clear out the rest of the organization members that haven't been disgusted for. And oh yeah, Dimix also, he got murked in Hollow Bastion, just to cover him off. Dimix is such an afterthought to me, but yeah, I like Dimix sparingly, but yeah, man, I don't fuck with comments like that, man. But We get to Chain of Memories. This is after the tailgate in the Kingdom Hearts 1. And during this game, oh my goodness, it's a beautiful game because Sora doesn't know where to go. He's in the crossroads, and a man in a black coat tells him, "Hey yo, come over here, pull up. Your friends is over here." And Sora, he's like, "Oh snap, I'm gonna go over to this castle." He goes into this main castle, and as soon as he gets there, the man in the black coat kind of like invisibles through him. And Sora loses every spell and ability that he's ever known. Now he has to reclaim everything in this castle. This mysterious man tells Sora to find is to lose and to lose is to find. That is the way in Castle Oblivion. Sora goes through the first world. It's Hollow Bastion. He meets his friends. Things are a little bit fragmented. Ultimately, he leaves that world. And then there's another man in a black coat. Takes off his hood. And he has red hair, spiky hair, looking like Sonic. And it is Axel. And he challenges Sora to a duel in which Sora wins. Axel was just holding back. Now Sora got to climb throughout their castles. And through these castles, he's starting to remember something special from his island. A person. A friend. Someone that he used to spend a lot of time with. Him and Riku. Her name was Naminé. She liked to draw. She loved to draw. Sora remembers her for that. And as he's going through this castle, all of the Organization 13 members taunt him. Riku even attacked him. Sora doesn't know what's going on. Why is Riku attacking me? I thought we were good after Kingdom Hearts 1. Or why every time I go further into this castle, y'all telling me I have Naminé and y'all keep on bullying me, especially Larxene. What Sora didn't realize was he was being part of an ongoing experimented by 6 scientists that had been hired in Castle Oblivion to oversee him. These 6 scientists include Larxene, Marluxia, Vexen, Lexaeus, Zexen, and Axel, the members of Organization 13. They all experimented on Sora and his memories, making him fall in love with another woman, creating another Riku, and manipulating his memories as well. Seeing the two clash, they treated Sora like a guinea pig. And Sora had enough. By the time he seen the 4th nigga, he was tight. Because at this point, y'all playing with me. How many of y'all people in black coats are there? And what do you mean you're Riku? That's my nigga right there. Don't you ever say you're Riku ever again. Do you know how hard I go for my friends? I'm gonna beat you up and send you back to Doctor Who, you shield wig wearing wannabe. I say that because in the comic books it was noted that Vexen wears wigs or whatever, so that's just my headcanon now. But Sora eviscerated Vexen. He beats Vexen pretty badly. I like the battle better in the GBA version because you get to fight Vexen twice. He heals up, and like the first time it was hard to fight him the first time, so I'm like, damn, I gotta fight him again? But yeah, Axel shows up because Vexen starts selling the beans. Sora's attacks start hurting. So Vexen just starts chatting because Vexen ain't used to being in combat like this. Like, he could fight, but he not like a warrior. He can just defend himself. So what ends up happening, Vexen just tells him, hey yo, you wanna be Marluxia's father. Because Vexen got his own beef with the organization. Because Vexen is a very self-important scientist. And he feels as though, since he's been here longer, he should have authority in the organization over the YNs. But Marluxia and Larxene and Axel are all YNs. And Axel, being a YN, decides to snap his fingers like Thanos and eradicate Vexen from existence. He snapped Vexen under existence. It was pretty gruesome. It was pretty brutal. And I love Axel for that. Chain of Memories Axel is my favorite version of Axel. After that, he just becomes a good guy. He just becomes your best friend, a guy that you want to hang out with, a soil guy that you want to bring to a club or something. That's what Axel becomes, and he's great at that too. But I like my characters with a little bit sazon, if you know what I mean. But nah, son, so Axel murks Vexen. And then after that, Sora gotta go through the castle. He fights Riku. And Riku gets knocked out. And by the time Riku gets knocked out, Larxene shows up. And Larxene does the one thing that you should never do in front of a man. Put your hands on his woman. Because Sora didn't know that wasn't his woman. Naminé really don't belong to nobody. She's single. I don't care about that Riku replica. I don't like that relationship. I don't jack that relationship. But Sora don't know that. All Sora knows is You know what? In hindsight, Riku Replica and Naminé aren't that bad because they were both in Chain of Memories together. So of course the little bastard developed a little crush on her. So I don't mind Riku Replica and Naminé. It's Riku and Naminé that I draw the line with, because Riku doesn't have no interaction. I mean, he did kind of spend time with her in Twilight Town, I guess, when he was under the gaze of Ansem. But if you ask me, Riku wasn't talking out like that. He was keeping to himself. He was worried about Sora. Like, I feel the Naminé and Riku relationship just feels so forced, because y'all had Naminé and Roxas together. Y'all even ended Kingdom Hearts 2 with Naminé and Roxas smiling at each other. And then y'all create Xion, which I love Xion. Xion's my favorite female of all the Kingdom Hearts. She's my favorite heroine. I love Xion. If you read my origins of my Flawless Military story, Xion was the only one that survived the onslaught. Go check that video out. That's Beatrice Gravestone on the top of it. But yeah, basically, nah, son. But her existence alone made it hard for Naminé to keep her relevancy for Roxas. Because Roxas got 7 niggas to hang out with now. Roxas got Axel, Xion, Sayax, Hater, Pince, Olette, and himself. That's 7 people. Roxas is stacked. His crew is stacked already. Roxas don't got enough room in his throne for Naminé. Yeah, I just gonna pair her off with Riku. I could have just left her single. Why everybody gotta be in a relationship for? What about Ventus? They ain't got nothing to do with each other. I could have paired her with Vin. Or maybe Vin gonna be paired with one of them Union Cross chicks. Let's just start talking about shippings, because that's what the Organization 13 was doing to Sora. They were shipping him with Naminé against his will. So much so that Naminé was like, hey yo, all this is fake. I'm sorry, Sora. They made me do it. But at that point, Sora's such a good noodle that he's still gonna fight for Naminé. And he put the mitts on Loxine. He had Loxine out here begging and regretting her life decisions as she faded into nothing. And the only reason Naminé even got out to begin with was because of this YN Axel. Oh man, I miss YN Axel. Not only did he let Naminé escape, he spent the block on Marluxia. He didn't win that fight because Marluxia the final boss. Marluxia got 11 health bars. You got like 8. It's a difference, man. Marluxia got final forms. You're not fighting that right now, actually. Wait until it's like Kingdom Hearts 3 when it's just one Marluxia. You just have to deal with him, and after you beat him, there's no other transformations after that, because if he pulls out if he pulls out Strelitzia on you, that angel of his sister, because that's my headcanon, and that's Strelitzia now that they done decided to give Marluxia her sister. If he pulls out that on you, you will scatter to oblivion, and that's what, so Sora ends up showing up. And Marluxia has not been captive, and Sora's not gonna happen. Sora's tired of his female companions being kidnapped by men in black coats all the time. Men that come from dark portals, speaking Shakespearean nonsense about darkness and hearts. He's tired of this crap. He wants to beat this pink man up, and he does. But after that, he has to go through another door and fight him again. But this time, he's like some type of floating, angelic centaur-like creature. I say centaur because he's like half his body is there, but it's like this floating android that he's floating on, and he's attacking you with sights and stuff. He's so invested. Beats him in combat. And then, that's the end of it in the GBA version. But in the PlayStation version, no, he pulls up his sister. Him and his sister jump Sora. So Sora's being jumped by Glorium and Strelitzia, being told, your hopes are doomed to the darkness, soak in despair, scatter to oblivion, lose everything. Marluxia was wilding on him, bruh. I love Marluxia's quotes. I hated Marluxia's quotes in Kingdom Hearts 3. Settle down! What's that? We went from scatter to oblivion, your hopes are due to the darkness, to the world without light, to settle down? Ew. But, nah, Sora made that man scream a ghostly wail like he was constipated on the toilet. And Marluxia faded away into oblivion. But, Naminé done messed up Sora's memory so bad that Sora needed to go to sleep and wait for Kingdom Hearts 2 to happen. And the entire time, Riku had to fight the other basement dwellers. He had to fight Lexaeus, Vexen, and Zexion, and it was really Ansem Chico of Darkness that killed Lexaeus because Ansem took him over. I'll give that killing Ansem. And then Zexion in the GBA, he didn't have a boss fight. Which is why I didn't give Zexion a Ranger form in my Kingdom Hearts Power Rangers video. Is because my headcanon is he's a coward. He doesn't want to fight. Why do you think he's a researcher now? He's never been about that life. The only reason that he had to fight was because he had to. Like, he created illusions. He's an illusionist. He figured if I could just do the illusions and the illusions would get Riku to down himself and then But what ended up happening is Naminé helped him through those illusions. And Zexion had to scrap. He had to pull up. So he's good at magic. So he just used magic against him. Now, that doesn't mean Zexion won't have an Ex Machina Ranger form in my future videos. He will. It's just that I got to figure out what color I need to give him. Because if you've noticed, that's a big, Ex Machina's a big team. I kind of have, like, if you count Sora and Axel as 2 red rangers, Xemnas and Roxas are 2 whites, Shion's a silver. We have 2 blues with Saïx and Vexen. So more or less, I gotta figure out what color I have to give him. Maybe some type of gray. Because whenever Lexaeus gets back to being a part of the Flawless Military again, he's more than likely going to be orange. That color is reserved for him specifically. But for Zexion, I need to think of it because Xigbar has purple. So I gotta figure out what Zexion. But Zexion gets murked by Riku, and then he teleports away, and then he gets murked by Riku Replica with this Y and Axel just like, so sorry, Zexion. You just found out way too much. And then after that, Riku fights Ansem, and then he decides to follow the road to Dawn, and he goes to Twilight Town to help Diz. Now we get to the final battle, because now the organization members have been cleared. The ones that Chain of Memories been cleared, the ones that Kingdom Hearts 2. So the first person to Sora to fight was Xigbar, the free shooter. Xigbar this elusive, he is my favorite character. My favorite villain in Kingdom Hearts. I love Xigbar. It fluctuates between him, Xemnas, and Saïx, honestly. And Xigbar had more of a prominent role in my story prior to me putting it on YouTube. Him and Rogexiel was supposed to be a couple. But later on in my later stories, I paired Rogexiel with Madara. So that conflicted, which is why they have the whole thing in episode 1. But I don't really follow the romance. Yeah, I'm going to touch more on that because romance does need to be a part of the story as well. So yeah, the romance will be included as well in the story. But for the most part, I had bigger plans for Xigbar at first. But the reason why I didn't do much with it is because now I'm waiting kind of. Because Kingdom Hearts 3 kind of put a monkey wrench in my plans. Because yeah, basically said Xigbar is an entirely different character. And what that entails basically is he's Lushu, and I gotta take all that lore into account. Lore that I didn't have to take into account before when I was writing Flawless Military on fanfiction.net and when I was telling it out loud. I never had to consider this extra lore because Kingdom Hearts 3 didn't exist. Now that he's Lushu, man, he's more than just it's more than just, it's like I had to retool the whole character, essentially. And I like Xigbar so much and I respect this character that I didn't want to ruin it, hence why I didn't put him that much in the story. But now that has changed because now the entire organization is being utilized. Because I kind of know where I want to go with it. For context, if I had to say that for the relationship, if y'all wondering what's going on with Rogexiel and Xigbar, she's kind of with neither of them right now. She's not with Madara or Xigbar. They kind of just work for her. They had a thing going on before, but you know, they still have tension. That's why Madara can kind of talks to her the way that he does. Because like, you know, like they have like that familiarity. And Xigbar also does as well. But more or less, there is way too much going on in the galaxy for them to really focus on relationships right now. But it will be touched on. And Mavis, yeah, Mavis is with Ansem. That's why Ansem is crashing out right now. It's all on Mavis's behalf. But yeah, back to Kingdom Hearts. Back to Xigbar. Back to the Xigbar, not my Xigbar. Xigbar basically tells Sora, you don't look like you're half the hero the others are. Basically saying, look, little nigga. This is what he basically wanted to say, but couldn't say because we didn't have all the lore and mechanisms that we have right now. Look, little kid, you don't know who you're dealing with right now. I have seen empires rise and fall. You think you're the only kid to pick up a Keyblade and think himself a hero? As if. I was just like you once. Hell, most of us were. If you would have seen the amount of Keyblade wielders that were back then, it could black out the sky. But that doesn't matter for you. Right now, it's my directive that you are eliminated. Traitor. So, I'll just use these bullets to black you out real quick. Let's see how you dance. Oh man, look at this clever little sneak, teleporting around like that. You wanted to say something along those lines? At least that's my headcanon, because I'll be making up my own dialogue for these characters. I swear. But yeah, Sora beat him. And this is when I knew Xigbar's character was way more important than any of the rest of them, because of how he died the first time. We'll go through the list.
It'll be over for you soon.
Xaldin. Dimix. No way. Larxene. I can't allow. Sayax. Kingdom Hearts. Where is my heart? Luxord. How could you? Roxas. Xemnas. Curses. Keyblade. But Xigbar, all of the other members had regret when they died. They all hated the circumstances they were in. They all thought their last words felt final, even though they all came back. But at the time, they all felt final. But Xigbar's? Oh no. Why did you call me Roxas? Wouldn't you like to know? And then he just teleports away like that. No screaming agony. No, where's my heart? No, it's like he's over all that. He's too mature for all that. Like all that's just nothing to him. That got me thinking around that time. There's more to this character. And then they throw him in Birth by Sleep. And then they throw him in Dream Drop. And then they throw him in Kingdom Hearts 3 and we get that epic face reveal. And we get to see that Xigbar was the main bad guy all along. Do you know how justified and correct I felt at that time? When the hood kicked off and I seen Xigbar, I screamed. I screamed very loud. I screamed so loud that my mother, God bless her soul, and my sister came into the room thinking something happened. And then I was like, no, it's just some nerd shit. And then they just went on about their business. That's how excited I was when Xigbar became Luxu. And that's how excited I am to see Xigbar in the future. Sayax and Luxord perished. There wasn't much to Luxord's death. He just said, how could you, Roxas? We get more from Luxord in Kingdom Hearts 3. Sayax died, and we get more from him in Kingdom Hearts 3 as well. And then they have to fight Xemnas. And this battle was climactic as hell. For Xemnas didn't just throw lasers at you, no, he threw entire night chest buildings at you. He threw rental projects at you. He threw the entire skyscrapers at you. When Sora was cutting skyscrapers in half with his sword, he had to fight an army of automatons that basically went into like this freaking engine that was storing the energy to his dragon so he could take flight. He had to break these things and fight hordes of heartless nobodies. Then the first wave when you see Xemnas in his armor, Xemnas donning all the weapons of all the members that Sora fought in Kingdom Hearts 2. Sora and Riku best him. And then after that, Donald and Goofy are removed from the equation. As now Sora and Riku have to chase down this dragon that Xemnas is piloting. They chase it down, they succeed. And now they fight Xemnas in this chair. His blade is so strong that he knocks them several feet in space back. You can see that this entire city under them as this is going on. It's one of the most epic scenes. Like, go into that fight scene where you fight Xemnas and just look at stuff. Just look at the environment. It's just beautiful. It's a chef's kiss. And then after that, we fight the enigmatic warrior of the in-between. His two dual-wielding lightsabers. Breath coming from his mouth like Vader. Looking at us, saying anger and hatred are supreme. He fights us and we fight this man in this climactic battle. He does everything. He shoots lightning at us. He duplicates himself. He shoots laser beams at us. He even tries to take our heart from us. Then Riku has to stop him. And then he tries to shower us with lasers. And the first time I played this, I did not press X, so Sora was getting bombarded with lasers. So I was unaware that you had to press triangle and X at the same time. But once I was aware, that was some of the coolest animation sequences ever. And then Sora and Riku beat Xemnas, defeat Xemnas. And then after that, they go home and they live happily ever after. Sora sees Kairi again, Roxas sees Naminé again, and it's over. And that is the best ending that Kingdom Hearts could have had. The ending for 3 was good. It was good. I liked the ending for 3. But I just didn't like it more than the ending for 2. it was beautiful having all of them go to the beach at the end of 3. That was my favorite part. Seeing all of them go to the beach, even Sayak throwing a frisbee, looking out of place as hell, but fuck it, it's Kingdom Hearts. I would go over the rest of it, but I feel like the magnum opus of Kingdom Hearts was within those games. And in another video, I'll cover 358, Birth by Sleep, and Dream Drop, and 3. So this video was mostly just to cover Chain of Memories and to cover 2, and my experiences with those games, and how it kind of branched off into the project that I'm working on now. So if you enjoy what I do and you enjoyed everything up until this point, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, and have a marvelous day.